Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well midweek, but we have a lot of things to speak about. Cambiaso, that has been compared to no other than Paolo Maldini. Wait for it, we will give you details later in today's video. Mercato, a double signing in the summer that I'm sure will make you super happy. So remain on the channel, maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe. You know it costs you nothing and it's helping me a lot. In the latest days, I see the increase of the thumbs up, and this is thanks to you. And by consequence, also more views to the video. So you can't understand how happy I am and how grateful I am for all your support. We start immediately with Corriere dello Sport. Basta così. Stop now. What are they referring to? To the chaos in the referee world, because you know it, they are asking now the Lega, to the referees, to Rocchi, the head of the referees, lower all the huge mistakes that has been done in recent weeks, but especially one thing, as soon as possible, finding back serenity. And this is super important. I have to admit that yesterday there was an Italian show, Le Iene. There was a blurred referee, anonymous referee, that was speaking about the inside world of the referees, saying that some referees, when they are taking some decision, they are a bit favored from inside the referee world. Some other referee that are taking other decisions that are not receiving the same favors. They are speaking also about some dubious video frames that they are seeing. Well, I have to say, I don't want to enter too much into detail, but if you start like that, finding serenity will not be easy. Now I want to go back to another thing that has been said at Corriere dello Sport, the case of Maignan. And you know it here on the channel, that it's Maignan, that it's Kostic, that it's Vlahovic, that it's Lukaku. We are totally against racial abuse. Totally against, and we condemn it here on the channel. I was applauding what Udinese did, identifying the supporter that did it, and he will be banned for life from the Udinese stadium. And this is fantastic. I was really applauding, because this is how you have to do. Punish the person that are responsible for these kind of things. But I was really also curious to see how Lega Italiana, how the court of Italy would have banned these episodes. What they could do, the first start to start really condemning and taking out races from the stadium. What did they do yesterday? Well, they banned the entire Udinese stadium for the next game. That will be closed. They will play in front of 0 supporters against Monza. According to me, this is again an extremely stupid decision, because I don't know how many people were doing the racist chants, and I hope that Udinese will continue to work to identify these people. Who was at mistake should be banned, and what bigger punishment exist than banning them from their stadium? They can't anymore ever go and watch their team. Well, next time you will think twice. But if you are banning an entire stadium, you are punishing all the other people that did absolutely nothing. And this is not okay, because you are making people even more angry. We have to pay attention in choosing the right punishments and not going with we punish everyone. Especially if you are going with unbalanced decision. Some people you are punishing more, some other people in stadium and club you are punishing less, depending a bit about how the media is making these cases bigger. I give you an example. Atalanta Juve, Vlahovic, 1 sector banned. Juve Inter Lukaku case, we all remember it, 1 part of the sector, not even the entire sector, asked to be banned. At the end, they even cancelled that punishment. Fiorentina Juve, again against Vlahovic, there 10,000 euro fine for the club Fiorentina. I don't understand. I see no streamline. I don't understand the rule, and I have no clarity. So I'm asking for a clarity, and I'm asking also that they are taking the right decision to punish the right people. Otherwise, we go totally crazy. Do we really believe that closing an entire stadium will take out the racism out of the stadium, or do we think that we have to go and identify the right people? What Juventus is doing, because yesterday for the very first time Juventus, they innovated again, because not only they were able to punish and ban for life people from our club Juventus in our home, but also visitors. Juve Roma, 30th of December, a Roma fan is throwing a seat. Well, that person can't anymore go in the Allianz Stadium ever, and that's a good thing. On the other side, they are also banning 2 persons from Juve, because these people will also be banned from the Allianz Stadium. One for throwing on the field half full glass, another one a can. These people out. Is it too harsh? Probably you will tell me, yes, Beppe, you can't compare and ban for racial abuse and throwing a can. It's maybe true that there are differences, but if you do mistakes, you are punished. And it doesn't happen. I went a lot of time in different stadiums of the world. I never threw a can or a glass or whatever on the field. You know it. You can't do it. It's absolutely not appreciated. Can be dangerous. So yes, for me, it's absolutely a correct one. Now we go onto the field in football. Yesterday was the very first day of Ciao Juventini that was presented to the supporters with an interview, with beautiful photo shoots. Yesterday he also met his teammates, who was one of the first one to say welcome to Jalo, and probably also in Portuguese it is Danilo, captain that is always welcoming all the people, giving them a few words and also trying to transmit him that Juventinita already from the first minutes. You can see it, not only off the field with new players but also on the field. Did you notice that image of Danilo after the goal celebrating on his knee with the armband of captain and the number 6 on his back? Quando sei della Juve, lo sei per sempre. Probably these are the messages that Danilo was telling to Thiago Jalo. When you are from Juve, you are forever from Juve. And I believe that the management of Thiago, the agency, they understood it really well, because they took a picture from that wall and they posted it immediately as an Instagram story. Another one that met Thiago Jalo is Weston McKennie, on his way or in his way with jokes saying, I'm super happy, that's our new teammate, I can't wait to work with him. Beautiful words from Weston McKennie, and a good news probably for the people that love McKennie, that always believed in, but also the people that didn't believe anymore and that start to believe again in USA ball, in Texas boy. He will probably receive a contract extension, 2.5 million until 2027. Someone that nobody, and I believe not even him, believed that he would stay here. He was not even sure to go with the US tour this summer. At the end, in extremis, he went there. What a man. What a beautiful story. And hopefully we can really say at the end of the season that he was a key factor in Juventus going back to lifting a trophy in the air. One that will probably not lift a trophy in the air with Juve will be Moise, because apparently, according to the latest rumor, he will be waited in Madrid tomorrow to do the medical test with Atletico Madrid. I told it, sorry, I understand his personal choice as a player. Personally, I would have kept him, but I can understand it. It's a pity. It's really a pity, because it's a player that I saw his official debut with Juve as a young 16 years old. It is what it is. Let's see what the future of Moise will be. And now we go to the transfer market with the two names that I told you. For the summer, Juventus is really seriously trying to go for two players. The first one is Koopmeiners. We already spoke about him so many times on the channel, and he's starting to convince us more and more and more that he is one of the new pillars of Juventus midfield. He could potentially be that guy. 40 million euro is what Juventus want to put on the table. Will it be enough to convince Atalanta? I don't know, but that's what Juventus want to do in the summer. They have a clear objective, and it is Teun Koopmeiners. On the other side, they also want to go with a bit more money towards Atalanta, because they also want to take in the same negotiation Carnesecchi. And I love Carnesecchi. You know how much I appreciate Carnesecchi. He's also, I believe, a Juventino since a kid. That aside, it will be tough. Why? Because we have Perin. We have a contract possible negotiation with Szczesny. So I'm not sure where he will find his spot there, but Carnesecchi can be the future Italian goalkeeper of Juventus. And we know the story of Juventus having always the strongest Italian goalkeeper. It's true, we have a beautiful generation with Vicario at Tottenham, with Donnarumma at Paris Saint-Germain, but I have to admit that Carnesecchi is absolutely not bad. So beautiful signing. What about Samardzic? You will tell me, Beppe, is it over? No, probably yes for the winter, but Juventus, they ask one thing to Udinese. Please, inform us for all the movements around the player, if there are new clubs that are contacting him or not, because we want to be informed. We are still in the race, in the run. So for the Samardzic fans, don't give up. He's still there. Yes, yesterday we spoke about a possible comeback in Serie A from Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, not for the winter, but it's a player that, yes, is also there again on that list. I told you, according to me, you have to just turn the page, pass and forget about it. You have to go towards other targets. And also the name that I saw today on Tuttosport, Kessié, is again a name that could potentially come back in the radar of Juve. I would also there, please pass on that one. What about Bernardeschi? Another name that I would also here pass. If you're looking at that page with Milinkovic, with Kessié, with Bernardeschi, looks like we are in 2018, and it would be nice to just go and forget about these players at a certain moment. Gazzetta dello Sport is speaking about the talk, the discussion of the king, showing actually Lautaro Martinez, but I want to focus on something totally crazy below: the calls between Yildiz and Alessandro Del Piero, with the message, imaginative creation, it's not even real, but with a creative message from Yildiz that is saying, it's Alessandro that is sending me. Del Piero and the baby Yildiz, a friendship in the Juve style. Look, what are they speaking about? They are speaking about the messages that both of them are sending themselves in private message on Instagram after every game. Del Piero is sending them a message to tell him, well done, good. There were some calls between the players. Del Piero, that is like a lot of us, actually seeing the successor, the heir of Del Piero, reincarnated in the young boy that always said, Yildiz, I am one of the biggest fans of Del Piero since a kid. I'm a lover of Alessandro Del Piero. And it's beautiful. I have to admit that I think it's a page filler. Why? Because these stories are absolutely not new. We already spoke about it a few weeks ago, but I believe that Gazzetta dello Sport, they had to speak about Juve. Otherwise, you don't sell papers. They had no idea what to speak about. They said, you know what, let's take one of the stories that already were there, that is trending, with Kenan Yildiz, and speak about the messages that are sending. Is it something great? I think it's more gossip than something else. Calma about the comparison between Del Piero and Yildiz. I love to do him. It's true. Not only me, a lot of Juve people, especially the a bit older ones that lived that moment of Yildiz, that moment of Del Piero when he was a kid, starting, coming from Padova, a few games with the youth sector, and then immediately doing the difference in first team with Juve. We see it. We see the touches. We see the control. But now to say, oh, Calma, he is the heir of Del Piero, it's a bit too fast. I can do it. You can do it. We have the right to dream. If papers are starting to say the friendship in stile Juve between Del Piero, that is always calling him, that is even adopting Yildiz, maybe they are pushing it too far. Today, unfortunately, it's on this day that the Agnelli ex-president passed away, Gianni Agnelli, in 2003. Rest in peace. An important person for Juventus, for everything that he did. He passed away, and what would he thought about that? He would have said, you know, calma, I love the gestures, I love the control, I love everything, but as Dybala has been compared to Sivori in the past when he was a young kid, and probably we pushed it a bit too much, probably comparing Yildiz now, today, with Del Piero is a bit too much. So let's wait a bit, calma, tranquilli. That would have been the way of speaking of the president Gianni Agnelli. Now, they are also speaking about Pogba, that is sending messages to Juve. He's preparing himself to go in front of the court. That will happen in February. He wants to come back as soon as possible. He's convinced that with his lawyers, English lawyers, he can defend himself, because he said, you know, let's see. I have my case, I have my evidences, I want to go into court and trying to show that I am innocent or partially innocent, to actually reduce the punishment that they give me so that I can be there. In the meanwhile, I still keep contact with my teammates, sending them messages, telling them win also for me. Well, he can't send them, especially for now, Juve, Empoli, to Rabiot and to Chiesa, because Rabiot will be out, he will not be present for Juve, Empoli. Sorry guys, you see, I'm falling sick again. But he will maybe sending to Chiesa, that has the possibility to be there at least on the bench. Not sure about that, but Chiesa at the moment more chances than Andrea Rabiot. Now, a person that will probably receive that message is Andrea Cambiaso, because no doubt that he will there. And if we still don't know, and that's the beauty of it, if he will play on the left side on the wing, if he will play on the right side of the wing, if he will play as a mezzala on the left or on the right, maybe replacing Rabiot this time instead of Miretti, well, we know that he will be part of the game. What a surprise for Andrea Cambiaso, playing only his third season in Serie A. What a fantastic guy. Today, I read an interesting article from Adriano Bacconi on Tuttosport, and when I see Adriano Bacconi that is not a Juventus supporter, I'm always curious. Why? Because that book, La Juve di Antonio Conte, written by Paolo Rossi and especially Adriano Bacconi, that is speaking a lot about tactics. When I bought that book back then, I was really impressed by the level of knowledge of Adriano Bacconi, that really understands football a lot. He's a tactician. He's always working on that. By the way, one day I remember him speaking with Roberto Mancini before a game against Juve, where he told Mancini how to beat the Juventus of Antonio Conte, and we lost. So I'm pissed off with that. But anyway, he's speaking about Cambiaso, telling us that he is unique. At a certain moment, comparing him also to Paolo Maldini. Of course, he's saying, I am not going crazy. I don't want to exaggerate. I don't want to enter into blasphemy. But what am I referring to? The runs, all the runs of Paolo Maldini, because Maldini was really a horse. Like Cambiaso is a horse on the field, or we already have a horse, Cavallo Pazzo, Cheval Fou, Adrien Rabiot, but now we have another one that is really making from the runs one of his big skills. On the other side, also the fact that he's ambidextrous. He can play with his left or with his right without any problem. He can play on the left part of the field and the right side of the field, like Paolo Maldini was doing. Now we stop here with the comparison, or at least he's stopping there with the comparison, but he's saying he's unique. Because if Guardiola, he invented back then the inverted foot players on wings, for example, a right foot player on the left and a left foot player on the right side, also asking them not only to go vertical but going horizontal, going centrally from the wings, going centrally. This is something that we saw a lot of time with Guardiola, one of the one that anticipated it and then has been duplicated by a lot of coaches. There is something that he said Cambiaso is inventing. It's totally different. It's not only the fact that he's able to enter, but also to play in that role of mezzala without feeling the difference, showing us and delivering us the exact same performance than when he's playing on the wings. And this is something unique, because we never saw something like that, a player that can play regardless on the wing or centrally with the same level of performance, if not sometimes even better in some moments of the games in a special zone. Crazy. He's also speaking about something that I repeat you, and I'm extremely happy about that, because it's coming from Adriano Bacconi, speaking about the fact that he is a player that has no role on the field. He understands the space and he knows how to fill the space, and doing that is actually fantastic because he's always taking one time on the opposition player. A really intelligent player. Only intelligent players can do that, and that's also not a coincidence why he's one of the favorites of Massimiliano Allegri. Really extremely intelligent, versatile. Now, what can be one of the consequences of that, of having no role? That a lot of players that had a bit no roles at a certain moment, they lost themselves because they didn't really knew what to do on the left, on the right, in the midfield, in attack, in defense. They lost themselves a bit because they had no structure, no organization. Well, at the moment, he is a jolly, he is a joker that is actually not feeling the disadvantages of playing in diverse role, but actually he's taking it as an advantage, as a benefit for him. And hopefully he can continue the way that he's doing it now. Oh, ragazzi, that was it for me. I hope you enjoyed. It's a bit shorter video than usual, even if we spoke about a lot of topics. Let me know about Kean. Let me know about the Dream, Samardzic, Koopmeiners. What about Carnesecchi? Tell me about the unique player that Cambiaso is, about Kenan, Yildiz, about Del Piero. I want to know everything here in the comment section. Grazie, forza, Juve.